Now to a disturbing story out of Yazoo County. More than 200 dead geese were found in a garbage dumpster. Now law enforcement says criminal charges are possible. 3 on Your Side's Candace Bruce takes you to the site.
It was at these dumpsters right behind me where law enforcement say over 200 geese were found illegally dumped.
Sunday evening, an off-duty Yazoo County deputy was throwing away some trash when he caught hunters dumping hundreds of dead geese at a dumping site off of County Barn Road. According to Yazoo County Sheriff Jeremy McCoy, the deputy was unarmed and in his personal car, so he recorded videos to help identify them. The hunters from Madison County included 2 juveniles. Snow geese are protected by the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, allowing them to only be hunted during certain times of the year and if you have the correct permits.
If in fact they had the right permit and it was the right time of the year, then yes, that could happen. But the disposing of it, regardless, that wasn't supposed to happen that way. From what I hear, most people just, burn them or dig a hole, put them in a big hole or something like that. Several different options, but putting them in a pitch in is never an option.
The sheriff says the county plans to charge the hunters with illegal dumping.
Law enforcement say state and federal charges still could be pending as the Mississippi State Department of Wildlife and Fisheries actively investigate this incident. Reporting in Yazoo City, Candace Bruce, 3 on Your Side.